They called me cursed and banished me. Years later, I returned with real power the night the village turned against me. The night everything changed began with a scream. It was sharp, sudden, the kind of sound that makes your heart stop before your mind understands why. I was sitting outside my mother's hut, carving a piece of wood, when it pierced through the quiet evening air. The sun had just dipped behind the tall palm trees, leaving the sky painted in deep orange and fading gold. Then came the second scream, louder, desperate. Without thinking, I dropped the knife and ran. Others were running, 2 men with lanterns, women clutching their wrappers, children trailing behind in confusion. The sound led us to the clearing near the old Iroquois tree. And that was where my life ended. Kelechi's only son was lying on the ground. His body was stiff, his hands clawed at the earth. His eyes rolled back, showing only white. Foam gathered at the corners of his mouth. He looked like a man being dragged between 2 worlds. People froze. No one moved closer. No one dared to touch him. Because in Obinaka village, moments like this meant only one thing: spiritual attack. I stepped forward. "Move," I said, pushing past the crowd. I didn't think. I didn't hesitate. I knelt beside him and tried to hold his shoulders still. "Kelechi, can you hear me?" His body jerked violently. Then suddenly, he stopped, completely still. The clearing fell silent, too silent. And that was when I realized something was wrong, very wrong. Because when I looked up, everyone was staring at me. The word that destroyed me at first, it was just a whisper. "Witch," then louder. "He did it." I shook my head immediately. No, I was just trying to help. But fear spreads faster than truth. And fear doesn't need evidence. It only needs a face. And that night, mine was enough. The chief arrived minutes later, pushed forward by elders and guards. When he saw his son lying motionless, something changed in his eyes. Not just pain, something darker. He knelt beside Kelechi, placed his hand on his chest, and then slowly stood up. "Who was here first?" he demanded. No one spoke. Then someone pointed at me. "He was," a voice said. The crowd murmured. The chief turned slowly toward me. "Is that true?" I swallowed. "Yes, but I didn't." Before I could finish, 2 guards grabbed me. The chief didn't shout. He didn't rage. He just said one word: "Bind him." The judgment of fear. By morning, the entire village had gathered. The sun had barely risen, but the square was already full. I stood in the center, hands tied, feet weak, heart pounding. My mother pushed through the crowd, her eyes red from crying. "My son is innocent," she shouted, but no one listened. Because when fear takes control, truth becomes irrelevant. The chief stood before the elders, his voice calm but heavy. "My son is dying," he said, "and this boy was found alone with him." "I didn't do anything," I shouted, but my voice felt small against the weight of their belief. The oldest elder raised his staff. "We will consult the oracle." And just like that, my fate was no longer in human hands. The oracle's deception, the shrine, stood deep in the forest. A place most people feared, a place where truth was supposed to be revealed. The oracle sat in silence as they brought me forward. He didn't look surprised. He didn't ask questions. He simply reached for the sacred bones and cast them onto the ground. The villagers held their breath. He leaned forward slowly, then spoke. "The boy is marked." Gasps filled the air. A darkness follows him. "No," I shouted. "That's a lie." But the oracle continued, his voice stronger. "If he remains here, death will follow." The verdict was clear. And in that moment, my life was taken from me. The exile, they didn't kill me. Instead, they chose something worse, banishing me into the forest. At sunset, they dragged me to the edge of the village. Me mother fell to her knees crying, "Please, he's my son." But the chief turned away. "If he returns," he said coldly, "he dies." I looked back one last time. At my home, my past, everything I had ever known. Then they pushed me forward, and I stepped into the darkness. The forest of voices, the forest was alive, not in the way trees and animals live, but in a way that made your skin crawl. At night, it whispered. Voices without faces, footsteps without bodies. Days turned into weeks. Hunger became constant. Fear became normal. I thought I would die there, until the night something answered me. The man beyond the river. I had collapsed near a riverbank, too weak to stand, too tired to care. That's when I heard it. "You are not cursed." I forced my eyes open. A man stood across the water, tall, still, watching me. "You were betrayed," he said, and in that moment, everything changed. The hidden truth, the man revealed the truth. The oracle had lied. The ritual had been staged. The chief needed a scapegoat, and you were chosen, he said. My hands clenched. Why me? Because you were easy to remove. Then he said something that shattered me. Kelechi planned it. My breath stopped. The chief's son, the man nodded. They needed power, and you were the sacrifice. The transformation. I should have died in that forest, but I didn't, because the man trained me. Years passed. I learned things no one in the village understood. Not magic, not curses, but truth, discipline, control. I became stronger, sharper, unbreakable. The boy they banished was gone. The return, 10 years later, I returned. But I didn't announce myself. I walked through the village as a stranger, watching, listening, waiting, because revenge without patience fails. The cracks in the lie, the village had changed, but the lies remained. Whispers of strange events, fear still ruled them. And the chief, he ruled through it, but lies don't last forever, and I was there to end them. The revelation. The moment came during a gathering, the entire village present, the chief standing tall. I stepped forward and spoke not with anger, but with truth, and when the truth came out, everything collapsed. The fall, the chief's secrets were exposed. Kelechi confessed. The oracle's deception revealed. The village watched in shock, because the fear they believed in was built on lies. The final twist, I didn't destroy them. I didn't take revenge the way they expected, because the real power I gained was something greater. I gave them truth. The ending, years ago, they called me cursed. They cast me out. They feared me. But in the end, I became the one who freed them, because the greatest revenge is not destruction, it is truth. If this story kept you hooked and shocked you till the very end, don't just watch and leave. Hit the like button to support more powerful stories like this. Subscribe now for more intense African tales of betrayal, mystery, and revenge. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next story, because the next story might be even darker, even more unexpected. And tell me in the comments, if you were in his place, would you choose revenge or truth?